Hello, twisted humans.
Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting?
Then this is the podcast for you. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Sierra, and this is Twisted and Uncorked. Hello, and welcome to episode 212 of this podcast. Today, why is France calling me?
I don't know.
Oh.
Hopefully to invite you.
They ended. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, hang on. I think it's my child. 1 second.
Okay.
Today, we will be discussing possibly some of the dumbest criminals from the last few decades and how they supposedly directly influenced a scientific discovery. This is a murderless episode airing in October, and it pairs well with today's costume theme of robbers. Let's show our costumes.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's so good! I love it!
I was like, mine has music with it.
It's perfect. It is so
But
good.
my headband wouldn't cooperate with my Sims diamond, so it will just live off to the side.
We went very similar, though. I'm a Hamburglar.
That is amazing.
But yeah, the mask, the shirt.
Your mask is way better than mine. Let's just pretend here.
We
do match.
We do match. Listen, we did it again.
Without even trying.
I bought a masquerade mask and just cut it in the shape of circle because I was like, I'm not doing
way
all
smarter.
That, so, yeah.
Well, that would have been smarter. I was originally going to buy felt and then I forgot. So here we are with the paper mask again, but it works. It's just not
works.
comfy. Yes, when you said robber, I immediately thought of in The Sims when that music plays and then the little slinking down the street. So
that's like, amazing. I love that.
What we're doing today.
That was good. That was very good.
I like it. Are you using that costume for Halloween? Because you said your kids wanted to dress up as... Aw.
No. My costume is... I don't know what my kids are... Sissy wants to be a vampire with all of her friends. That's fine. But actually our Halloween... Never mind. Sorry, guys. You gotta go to Bitch and Wine for all of that. I will discuss over behind a paywall. No, this is not my Halloween costume. This is just one of our weekly things I was able to put together. I did get really hungry for a hamburger after putting on this costume. And so beforehand, I went and had a hamburger. And I took a picture of my costume with the hamburger in hand. So it's going to look really good for the Instagram.
Perfect. Well, I did manage to get one photo with my headband before it aggressively fell off my toque. So
good enough.
There we go. This is actually the toque you made me. It's just flipped inside out.
Oh, nice. Well, that one's really bulky, so that's probably why it's not staying well. It's a very warm toque.
Well, I poked a sewing needle through the top, and I wrapped it around the paper clip that's on the bottom of there, but it was the paper that I used for the diamond is too heavy. So it keeps falling backwards, and I'm like, oh my God. Everyone that did the costume idea did it with just a last minute costume, so they were themselves but a sim, so they had it on a headband and it stays way better. Yeah.
You should have put it on your headphones band.
Oh, that would have been smart. Next time. Hold on.
There you go.
Insert creepy music down the street here. Although in The Sims 4, you can beat up the robber and try and scare it away. Whereas in the old Sims, you just had to let them steal something, which always really sucked because it was usually your TV or something expensive. Oh,
I always cheated anyway. Rosebud.
True.
Infinity money.
I literally tried so many times to have a legitimate Sims family where they worked for a living and didn't cheat, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, it always for about, I don't know, 10 minutes, I'm like, I'm gonna be good. And then I'm like, this is boring. I need money. And I cheat.
My house looks like shit.
Yeah. It's not fun when you don't have money.
It's true. Life isn't fun when you don't have money. That's why Sims is kind of a mean game.
I'm not playing Sims because I want to live my real life. I'm playing Sims because I want to live a fake life.
Oh, they just came out with a fairy expansion pack too.
Oh.
Better believe I will be purchasing it.
All right. Let's get into the episode. Do you have a fun fact for me?
I do have a fun fact for you, and it is Sims related, as I'm sure you're shocked. Oh. There is an Escape from Prison expansion pack that I never played or saw. So this may be a Mandela effect, but it's for The Sims 3. And apparently, if you dig holes near the police station in town, imprisoned Sims might find a way to escape and reward you for helping them.
That's sort of creepy.
Right? Can you imagine just like digging away and a person pops out of this hole?
My fun fact is that invisible ink messages that show up with UV light have bleach as an ingredient, as bleach absorbs the light and UV light specifically and appears darker under the light. However, invisible ink can be made by using common household substances like lemon juice, milk, or sugar water. These liquids darken into a brown stain when heat is added, so adding a flame near the paper where you wrote an invisible message with these substances will cause that message to be revealed. And speaking of lemon juice, this episode pairs well with a drink that I'm calling a strawberry sunrise lemonade, as I was inspired by the strawberry sunrise flavored Alani. I don't know if you've had those ones. They're so good. Why do people keep calling me? I'm not answering this one. I don't know that number.
They are very tasty, and I actually had the perfect cup for today's drink.
Perfect. This drink is made with strawberry syrup, which you can purchase or home make it with muddled strawberries and honey, and then half orange juice, half lemonade, and topped with tonic water or champagne if you want to make it boozy, some sort of bubbly. Bonus fun facts about the drink. Strawberries contain vitamin C and folate, which are essential for cognitive function. Oranges are high in vitamin C, which improves blood flow to the brain, and lemon juice does not turn you invisible. But we're going to get into the story. How is your drink? Here's mine. It's pretty because I haven't mixed it yet.
I cheated and I started drinking it while you were talking to me, and it is very delicious. All of my strawberries are now floating at the top. Yours looks more like a sunrise. It's very tasty. I use ginger ale for mine because that was all that I had for bubbly, but it works. It works. I added some extra lemon juice as well, just to cut the sweetness a little bit, but it was tasty.
Yeah, I think next time I would do, especially because I did the syrup where I did muddled strawberries and honey already, I think instead of lemonade, if I make it again, I'm going to do orange juice and lemon juice, not lemonade, because the lemonade has sugar as well, but it is really good.
It is. I think if we threw some Nick Jonas tequila in there next summer, it could be a delicious take on a tequila sunrise.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Putting it in our idea book for 2026.
That's an idea for sure. All right. So, there's a saying that goes, hang on, put my phone right here so I can look at you. There's a saying that goes, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think, from Winnie the Pooh. Well, apparently that is only true for like half of the world. The other half is much dumber than they think. We often talk about how criminals are stupid and they almost always get caught. Turns out there's a whole psychological study and definition that describes exactly this. It is called the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Please tell me in your list of dumb criminals that you have a duct tape bandit.
A duct tape bandit? No.
Oh, damn. I was like, that's the dumbest criminal I've ever seen.
It's really only two criminals who did the same thing, but it's all about this same.
I'm excited. I'm
excited. Yeah. So here is a quote from the first paragraph of the paper entitled, "Unskilled and unaware of it, how difficulties in recognizing one's own incompetence led to inflated self-assessment." From the Journal of Personality and Psychology, written by David Dunning and Justin Kruger. Quote, in 1995, McArthur Wheeler walked into 2 Pittsburg banks and robbed them in broad daylight, with no visible attempt at disguise. He was arrested later that night, less than an hour after videotapes of him taken from surveillance cameras were broadcasted on the 11 o'clock news. When police later showed him the surveillance tapes, Mr. Wheeler stared in incredulity. "But I wore the juice," he mumbled. Apparently, Mr. Wheeler was under the impression that rubbing one's face with lemon juice rendered it invisible to videotape cameras. End quote.
Stop it.
According to the newspaper article in which the authors used as the source for this information, Wheeler told officers that he tested out the invisibility theory before he did the crime by putting lemon juice on his face and taking a photo of himself with a Polaroid camera. He did not appear in the photo, so he assumed the lemon juice trick worked. Police assumed that either the camera malfunctioned or the guy was so dumb that he didn't even properly point the Polaroid camera at himself.
Or he's a ghost.
This bank robbery is what inspired David Dunning and Dunning-Kruger to name this effect and publish the idea to others. Though William Shakespeare had a similar idea hundreds of years prior, as seen in his quote, "The fool thinks himself to be wise, while a wise man knows himself to be a fool." The basis of this theory is that some people are so dumb that they don't know how dumb they really are, and so they think they are smart. Quote, "The phenomenon is known as cognitive bias of illusionary superiority," end quote. And now it's time for Science with Sierra. Sort of, because
This is my new favorite segment.
So apparently, metacognition is when you think about thinking. And dumb people don't have metacognition. They don't think about thinking. They learn something and believe that that is the most smart thing about the subject. They feel like a genius now. They don't even have an inkling in their mind to think that other people already knew this or even know more than this about this thing. They're just like, wow, I'm so smart now. And since they don't think to think further, it gives them confidence, especially when they're living in an echo chamber of other people who are also dumb, and those people don't know that one thing that they just discovered. So they're like the king of all these dummies. There's a lot of idiots walking around just confidently spreading information that might not even be true. Like lemon juice, since it's an invisible ink substitute, will make you invisible. The flip side of this cognitive bias of illusionary superiority phenomenon is that smart people are smart enough to know that there is always more to learn. So they seem more humble or even self-deprecative in insisting that they aren't really that smart or ignorant. Like Shakespeare said, a wise man knows himself to be a fool. There seems to be examples of this phenomenon everywhere you look. Criminals being really confident but getting caught anyway. New drivers getting into accidents because they're overconfident in their abilities due to having recently passed the driver's test. Elderly drivers getting into accidents because they've been driving for forever and they're overly confident that they don't need to pay attention to the new ways people are doing things. Dumb acts being the ones that go the most viral because their confidence is captivating, and the rate at which misinformation spreads. Think about this. If a company is going to hire someone for a job, they usually want someone who is confident in their ability to do the job well. Confidence will win over timidness every time in a job interview. But according to this phenomenon, that confidence does not equal knowledge. In fact, the humbleness does. So, again, according to this, the dumbest people keep getting those jobs. The dumbest people are the loudest. The dumbest people are probably making the biggest decisions about our world. Sort of a scary thought.
We already know that's a little bit true.
But let me ease your worries, or at least throw a wrench into this entire theory by saying that the people who created this theory or effect are likely more in the dumb side than they realize. For starters, there are many people who have reported that whenever someone tries to debate this effect, the authors, or at least David Dunning, according to my sources, gets really defensive about the subject and doubles down. So by his own theory and being overly confident that he is correct about his original published paper, he actually isn't that smart on the subject. Because if he was, he wouldn't be so confident and he'd be open to criticism and gaining more insight on the topic. There is always more to learn. And for another thing, he or they did a terrible job at fact-checking what was actually going on in this bank robbery. Which was the whole basis for this paper. So, the very first paragraph that I read to you was full of misinformation and or unprovable information. So much so that it makes me wonder if the officer quoted in the newspaper used as Dunning-Kruger's source was trying to pull a inventor of the toaster by rewriting history just to see how far it would go. It seems that a lot of people read that first paragraph from the Dunning-Kruger effect paper and thought it was hilarious and shared it. It's been shared many times and is always accepted as a factual basis. However, the photo that goes along with it may not even be of McArthur Wheeler. Fortunately, I am not the only one who wanted to go down this rabbit hole, so I was able to find tiny tidbits of information that contradict all of this. Unfortunately, it's only tiny tidbits, so we may never know the real truth. But here is what I discovered after piggybacking off of other sleuths. McArthur Wheeler was involved in at least one, possibly two bank robberies in 1995. He had an accomplice, and they robbed these banks together. The accomplice was Earl Johnson. Johnson was described as a black, 5 foot 11 inches tall, 275-pound man in the papers that reported the robbery before he was even caught. This was the description that they put out. The papers said that this man, later identified as Johnson, held up the bank teller at gunpoint, while another man, later identified as Wheeler, stood in line as if he was a customer, but ran out of the bank with the robber. So, if he's standing in line as a customer, does he even need a disguise? The man in the photo that comes up with the Dunning-Kruger effect quote is standing with a gun pointed towards a bank teller. Earl Johnson is never mentioned by name in the caption, but he was the one who stood with the gun, according to initial reports. Maybe they just got the names wrong. But no, because also the man in the photo is not a black, 5 foot 11 inches tall, 275-pound man. There is one photo that I'm going to send to you that I would like you to use for content, even though it is wrong just because it's hilarious. And I think it's on my iPad. I'm going to send it to you right now. So I just find this hilarious. This is the photo that they use, but again, Wheeler is not the one who points the gun. And so in this photo, they're circling nothing because he's invisible and saying, oh, that must be Wheeler, which none of this is, because the man that you can see can't be Johnson either, because he's not a 275-pound black man. So
True.
I don't know where they got this stock image, seemingly, of this robber, but none of this is real, okay? That motherfucker right there is not real.
That's funny.
So anyway, another issue with the quote that is published in the Dunning-Kruger effect paper, a paper that in 2023, by the way, won the Grawemeyer Award in Psychology for $100,000, even though it's factually incorrect, is that the dates are wrong. So, this is something you can easily fact check, and it's wrong, the dates. He said that Wheeler robbed 2 banks on the same day, and he was caught later that night, but that is not what happened. At least one robbery happened on January 6, 1995. They got away with a little over $5,000, which would be double that in today's money. It was reported about in the Pittsburg Gazette the next day, January 7th. Quote, Swissvale police said that the Mellon Bank branch on Noble Street in Swissvale was robbed at 2:47 p.m. yesterday by a man with a semi-automatic handgun. He was described as black, 5 feet 11 inches tall, 275 pounds, and wearing a blue parka. Another man who was in line during the robbery was thought to be involved because he ran out of the bank with the robber. End quote. Future newspaper articles said that the robbery at the Swissvale branch happened on the 5th, not the 6th, but either way, no one was caught the same night because the next day they were reporting about it. Sources do say that Johnson was arrested 6 days later on January 12th for multiple robberies, including the ones that Wheeler was a part of, but also at least 2 that Wheeler was not a part of, or at least he wasn't visible during
I was just going to say.
But this piece of information is so easy to find, the 6 days later thing, that I'm baffled at a $100,000 award-winning paper getting this so wrong. And he wasn't even talking about Johnson, he was talking about Wheeler. Wheeler wasn't caught until 3 months later, after Johnson turned on him and said he would testify against him for a shorter sentence. So 2 months after Johnson's arrest in March, I guess he was given this deal. This, if you turn in your buddy, we'll, give you whatever, less time. Because it was at this time that an arrest warrant was issued for McArthur J. Wheeler. Even still, a whole month went by of police looking for and not being able to find him. Allegedly, on April 19th, Crime Stoppers aired a segment on the 11 o'clock news about looking for this man, photo and all, but no one can actually find the recording or the real photo of the Crime Stoppers segment. I don't know if it's this one that they're showing, with Wheeler being invisible, or I don't know where this photo came from. I don't know if this is the photo that they showed. I don't know if this is actually Wheeler from maybe a different bank robbery. I don't know. After the alleged Crime Stoppers segment, McArthur Wheeler was arrested at midnight on April 20th after a tip came in with his whereabouts. And then this is when the first story about the lemon juice dropped. Apparently, Johnson was the one who told Wheeler it would work. Wheeler tested it on himself with a Polaroid and then believed it. But again, I cannot find any proof of that except the news article that quoted an officer saying this. There is no public official police report of this. One newspaper said this, quoted a police officer, and since that day, every other newspaper seems to reference that first newspaper who talked about the lemon juice. I don't know. There are, however, police reports that can be purchased from this event and this arrest, which I, along with the sleuths whose help I used, find very strange. Most information on closed cases are free to the public, especially in a bank robbery in which they only got $5,000 and no one got hurt. Why are we keeping that behind a paywall? Even weirder was the sentencing, though. Since Johnson agreed to testify against Wheeler for a reduced sentence, Wheeler's court date and sentencing came first. He was sentenced to 24.5 years. For being an accomplice who stood in line with no visible disguise, pretending to be a customer but acting as a lookout during 2 bank robberies. 24 and a half years. That's more
than most attempted murders.
Yeah. Did he actually discover invisibility? Why are they trying to arrest him for 24 years? That's so long.
He really was in that photo.
He had to have been invisible. Yeah. Why else would you put this man? It's crazy.
Yeah.
So then was Johnson's court date. He received a sentence for pleading guilty to 3 bank robberies in which he was armed and in which he made out with a total of $9,000. Johnson's punishment for 3 armed bank robberies was 5 years. 5 years because he testified
Wheeler definitely
against Wheeler.
Discovered invisibility.
Wheeler knows invisibility.
There's no other explanation.
I don't understand. I do not understand how and why our justice system is what it is or what it was. I don't know.
Somebody was drinking that day.
There is a possibility that the political timing of it played a part, being that OJ's trial was, recently prior. The Rodney King riots were a couple years before that. Johnson was a black man, so maybe they're like, we can't punish black men really harshly right now at this time. I don't know. There's also a possibility that highly rewarding snitches as to make an example for other inmates played a part. Like maybe they're like, let's really cut his sentence for being a snitch, and maybe other people will start snitching. I don't know. But in my mind, there is always a possibility that the government has some weird involvement in this. Like maybe some of it was staged. Maybe some of it was a false confession. Maybe it was all some weird LSD mind control experiment to see if they could make someone believe they were invisible. Because people can't really be that dumb. Or maybe he discovered invisibility. These thoughts are not completely baseless. According to public records found by some sleuths, McArthur Wheeler requested and paid a lot of money for the entire transcript of the entire trial. What happened during that trial that made him want a physical copy of it? I don't know. But then again, maybe I'm just being dramatic. In 2004, Wheeler requested an appeal of at least half of his sentence. Maybe the second bank robbery that I can't find any evidence of him committing. Or maybe just because the sentence of 24 and a half years for being an accomplice was ridiculous. Or maybe he needed the court transcripts to appeal in order to prove something sketchy was going on. Like, hey, look at this thing that happened. I don't know.
Well, and is that why it's behind a paywall?
Maybe.
Like, what happened? I need to know.
Right?
Somebody went invisible in that courtroom.
After Johnson's sentence of 5 years was over and he was released, he ended up in North Carolina, where he was arrested again in 2010 for armed bank robbery. Again, it was right after this trial. It was right after this arrest, now 2012, that Wheeler's appeal was approved and he was released from prison. So Wheeler was not made to do all 24 years. He was released after Johnson was re-arrested. Maybe he used that as part of his basis of like, hey, look, I'm not the criminal here. He is. He was rearrested.
Right.
In 2019, Johnson died as an inmate in prison. Wheeler, however, has never been found in a police record since being released in 2012. As far as we know, he never reoffended, or at least he was never seen reoffending again. Maybe he found the real invisibility recipe. Special thanks in this episode to user Jimmick on Reddit, who did the deepest of dives and posted about this in multiple subreddits. Jimmick, if you are listening, I would love to pick your brain about theories. Is Wheeler invisible?
That's the only explanation. That's the only reason why it's behind a paywall. That's the only reason why the disparity in sentencing and why he's never been caught since. He's a criminal mastermind. He belongs in a Minions cartoon.
He definitely doesn't wear bright red and yellow when he's burglarizing. I'll tell you that.
No.
Or maybe he does. Maybe it doesn't matter because he's invisible.
Plume blob above their head.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could be wearing like a rainbow spandex suit for all we know. I think he's a real life superhero. That's the only way that it makes sense.
Can you imagine
if
he thought that covering himself with lemon juice would make him invisible, and then he went in naked? Can you imagine?
I mean, I would love to be on a fly on a wall that day, because that would just be funny. When you originally said dumb criminals, I was like, okay, she's doing shallow dives. Because in addition to lemon juice and invisibility, criminals have thought, I'm just going to wrap my whole head in duct tape and no one will know who I am.
Yeah.
And then there was 2 guys that robbed a liquor store wearing watermelons over their head. So dumping lemon juice on yourself and claiming invisibility somehow doesn't surprise me, but it is my favorite.
It's a fun one.
This is kind of like a conspiracy in a way,
It's kind of a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I would love this Reddit user to come on the show for a follow-up.
Jimmick, come on.
Hit us up. That is a lot of fun, though. Yeah, that's the only explanation. You can't tell me otherwise.
That's it. I don't understand. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
If you could choose any superpower, what would it be?
I have always said flying. But invisibility sounds really cool too. Because then I can just get on whatever plane I want, right?
That's true. No one needs to know that you're standing in the aisle.
Yeah, it's
Just
fine.
just like stand out of the way. You're fine.
Yeah.
I think invisibility would be a good one too.
Yeah. I feel like it's always between those two.
But invisibility now, I'm like, I wouldn't want to steal. See, then I'm no better than Wheeler. But
I mean, if he was actually invisible, I'm not that mad at him. You know? That's a really great invention.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You should profit from it at some point. That, and if you're stealing from the rich, you're basically
right.
Robin Hood.
Who cares? Well, give it to the poor first, please. Thank you.
Yes, and then you're Robin Hood. and just to clarify, we're the poor. Send help.
That's us.
All right. That was a good one. I like.
Thanks. It's just a little thing, but I saw what happened was I was going to use it as a fun fact because I found the picture with the quote. And I was like, oh my God, what idiots. And then I started looking into it and I was like, because that's what I do. I like to fact check my fun facts. And then I was like, okay, wait a minute. Something fishy is going on here. And
you went down the
turned into a whole episode.
Reddit rabbit hole.
Yeah. It was great. It's great.
Well, you did a great job. And let us know what you think, listeners, as always. I know we are recording Bitch and Wine after this, but is there anything fun you would like to share with the class?
Yes, there is. I have discovered my new favorite thing. It is called Mahjong. Have you heard of this?
Yes, I've heard of Mahjong.
Have you played it?
No. I've never had anyone know how to play to teach me, but I've heard of it.
It's so fun. I am obsessed with Mahjong. I went to a Mahjong night at like a local boutique here where they sell Mahjong accessories and whatnot. So they had a bunch of
youngest Mahjong patron by like 20 years.
I was introduced to Mahjong by my friend Jaden, who is 24. It is very popular on TikTok right now. That's how she learned of it. Yes.
Gotcha. That's what brings the old lady board games back into the mix.
It's very hard though. Like
I've heard that as well. My grandma used to play
I'm surprised an old woman would know how to play. Like we play, me, Jaden, Julie, and Mama, and Mama is not great. Okay. I love her and it's so fun anyway, but
just
she's
to clarify,
not
is
good
Mama
at it.
wearing underwear today or
I mean, I wasn't checking, but Jaden showed me how to play. I thought it was going to be lame. I had fun. We had a whole day of it. We did muumuus and mahjong and mimosas.
Yes.
It was great. And then last week, a week later, they had at a local boutique a mahjong night where they brought their own, like the boutique place gave you mahjong boards to play. Because I don't know if you know this, but buying mahjong is like $900 freaking dollars. Because
aren't they like specialty tiles?
The tiles are made of bone.
Oh my God.
Yes. So the original Mahjong is the oldest, like one of the oldest games in history. And the tiles are originally made of bone. So the ones that are really expensive are bone. And then the other ones are like porcelain, but they're kind of piggybacking off of the fact that the bone ones are really expensive. And so even the porcelain ones are like, $700 or whatever, which is kind of annoying. Like, give me some plastic ones and let me play, but whatever. It's fun. So the boutique gives out, for the length of the play, tiles to play with. So we got to play with really fancy $900 ones, and they were so pretty and beautiful, and I loved it. And there was like a competition, and I won. I won Mahjong for the entire night. It was awesome.
I'm not shocked.
I'm obsessed. I love it.
That's so fun. Well, when I come to visit, you will have to take me to Mahjong night. Because
we're gonna have to go to a Mahjong night. I'm not buying $900 Mahjong. I'm just not.
That's fair.
I told Jesse that he should cut out like little wood tiles, and I can like get some stickers and I'll lacquer them and stuff like that. I'll make my own Mahjong, but I'm not buying that.
Would be really cool with wood.
Yeah,
I think that would be a very unique, like woodsy take on your set. I love that. What type of bone? Like animal bone?
I assume animal.
Okay.
I don't know.
Like
I assume
sacrificed
animal.
ancestors. Like I just as soon as you said bone, I'm like,
I don't know. I didn't look into. I told Jesse that I loved it and that I wanted it, and that it was $900. So don't ever think you actually have to get it for me, even though I love it and I want it. And then he looked it up and he was like, "Oh, that's because real mahjong is still made with bone." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't dig
where's
into
the
it
bone
further than
coming
that.
from? Like I feel
I don't
like
know.
ethically speaking, we need to look into
Where are the bones?
Can
Yeah.
you like instead of donating your bones to be a tree, can you donate your bones to be a mahjong?
That would be so cool. I want to be played with for the rest of eternity.
Oh my god, your kids are just like having a games night with their friends, and they're like, "Oh, these tiles are beautiful. Where are they
Thanks, that's
from?"
my
"Oh,
mom.
that's my mom."
I love it. I love it.
Alright, I need you to add that to your will immediately.
I want to be mahjong.
Oh my god, and then when your kids are gone, then their kids can play. Oh my god, it's a whole thing.
I'm gonna be around
You're gonna be a
forever.
family
Listen,
heirloom.
this is way better than being a tree because trees can get struck by lightning. You can move
They can get cut
houses.
down, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
You
want to be
need to be a
mahjong.
mahjong. Yeah.
I'm
I'm
gonna
glad
be
we figured
mahjong.
that out together.
Thank you.
That's
Oh.
hilarious. And then, like, when your kids wanna, like, give them, like, a tile to somebody that loved Sierra,
Mhm.
if for some reason you die before me, I want a tile.
Yeah. We'll make extras just in case any get lost or if they
Or
need to
chipped.
hand them out. Yeah.
That's so funny. Well, no, because you can't throw away a piece of Sierra, that would be terrible.
Exactly. You'd be haunted forever.
I'm obsessed with this idea. I don't think I can top that with my
Well, tell me something anyway.
My exciting news was it was just I wanted to touch on it because last week when we were for last week's episode, I said I was going to the Jonas Brothers concert
Mm.
and I was gonna get the red dress t-shirt. They did have the red dress t-shirt there.
Oh.
I did not get it though. I got a different t-shirt with all of them on it because as I was wearing my red dress t-shirt, I felt guilty somehow. That and fucking Rogers Arena adds like $25 to the cost of the t-shirts. So do you want to know how much it was? It wasn't the $64 online.
It was 80?
$84.
That's a lot.
And they don't even have extra smalls, so it's too big for me anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna attempt to shrink it a little bit. It is a very nice shirt and like a good photo of all of them. And it's kind of got like vintage vibes, which I'm here for.
Yeah.
So my point being, I still may get the red dress t-shirt online because fuck Rogers Arena.
That's
And
crazy.
but it was a very good concert. And in a plot twist moment, they didn't bring out anyone from Vancouver. They brought out MGK.
I saw that.
It was cool, but I'm also like, that's cheating.
Yeah.
And he looked like a massive giant next to our short kings on stage.
Really?
So yeah.
I didn't
Isn't
think he was that
MGK like
tall.
6'3"?
I don't know.
And they're all like 5'8"?
I have no idea. They're definitely not 5'8", okay?
Yeah, they are.
No.
They are. Have you never Googled this?
No.
They're short kings, my friend.
But 8? That's shorter
Yeah.
than Jesse.
Yeah.
No way!
I'm pretty sure Kevin is the tallest one at 5'9".
I have to Google it.
Yeah, we're fact checking. Insert doo 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 doo. I can hear your stomach also.
Kevin is 5'11", Joe is 5'7", and Nick is 5'6". Dang. Gosh. That is crazy.
I didn't think he was 5'6". Jonas. Height.
It's fine because I'm only 5 feet tall.
He is 5'6"? That's wow.
Yeah.
The more you know. Kevin's 5'11"? Good for him. Good for him. So sorry if I just, crushed any dreams for anyone out there.
Not me.
I'm
no,
5
feet.
You and me are good.
Fine.
You and me are good. We can still wear heels and be shorter than him. Yeah, they're short kings, but we love them anyway. And it was a good show. Brianna was a trooper. That is all. I missed you, though. I have videos from Boys Like Girls, so I will send them to you.
Yeah.
I did my best with my excitement, but it was like weird because I was holding my camera perfectly still, and because the crowd is moving, it looks like I'm moving, and I'm like, I swear to, in the video you hear, I swear to God, I'm holding this still. But it was funny. But you were definitely missed, and buying that t-shirt online. Yeah. I need to be something cool when I die. We'll figure it out eventually.
We'll upload you into a Sims game.
That would be really cool. But then I'm just like, what?
At the whim of
is there
other
metacognition happening while I'm in the Sims game?
Are you thinking about thinking?
Is my spirit within the game? Can I think about what's happening to
I
me?
think so. Have you ever seen the show called Upload?
No.
You should watch it. It's pretty cool. We'll do that to you.
Kind of like that. Okay.
Yeah.
We will report back next week on what's happening when I die. And in the meantime, go leave those 5-star ratings and reviews.
Check us out on YouTube so you can see these costumes.
Yes. Make sure you're following us on social media. And we will be back next week for my episode.
Bless me.
Bless you. I'm like, I can't.
Please, aliens, bless me.
I will see you next week for my episode that is going to be high school related.
Oh.
And in the meantime,
keep it twisted.
Twisted and Uncorked is hosted and produced by Sierra Zorn and Alicia Watson. If you like the show, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you are listening now. It really is the best way to spread the word. You can check out all things Twisted on our website, twistedanduncorked.com, and we will see you next Tuesday for a brand new episode.